Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. Candidates gunning for the Senate and party list seats have begun to woo voters as the campaign season officially began today. The administration ticket wasted no time introducing its bets to the public in a proclamation rally attended by no less than the president. Candidates for the Duterte-backed PDP Laban will also be proclaimed within the week. Various surveys show little difference in the list of those who might make it to the Senate's Magic 12. With 3 months left till Election Day, who will stay and who will go? Let's get on point with political strategist Alan Herman. Or German.
German, it is, right. Hey, good evening, Pinky. And my goodness, I didn't realize that I was going to be a prophet today. That intro gave me a chill, huh?
Really?
Who will stay, who will go?
Yeah.
Evidently, this is up to me, right?
No, you will stay in the Billionaire News channel.
Evidently. It seems to be the zeitgeist right now, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the importance first of the midterm elections. Campaign season for the national elections began today, as I mentioned a while ago. And how important, I guess, is this on a general scale for the president and the vice president?
Well, under normal circumstances, meaning to say we're not going through a political typhoon, as it were, and I'll be touching on that a little bit later, but under normal circumstances, really, it's been said time and again, it's been said and resaid that midterm elections are a referendum on the current administration, meaning to say, do the people still approve of the way things are? How are things going? Are they satisfied? What we call ATSP, awareness, trust, satisfaction, and preference. The midterm election is a good temperature check for that because, and this is a term I seem to have invented, the lame duckery of a president happens after midterm elections. After elections, because as politicians, of course, you are predisposed to saving your own skin and fighting after your own interests. So after the midterm elections, they're already looking forward and thinking of the next admin.
Yeah, and who they will align themselves with. But if it's a referendum, how do you see this panning out after the election? After the midterm elections, will we see a support for the president, or are we going to see support for the vice president?
Well, right now, more than a referendum, it's become a fight for survival almost because of, again, the added context and the added ingredients that have made this midterm elections far spicier, I think, than anything we've ever seen in the past.
Yeah, you know, it's good. Let me interrupt you there. In all the past elections, especially if you can compare it to past midterm elections, how siguro exciting or, let's just use the word exciting for lack of a better term.
Well, for a guy like me, I think you saw me when I arrived at the studio. I was disheveled. My hair was a mess. My buttons were undone. I didn't have my coat. Exciting is perhaps the understatement of the year because right now the sides have been drawn exponentially because the fight between the Greens and the Reds, so to speak, the Marcos admin camp and the Duterte pseudo-opposition camp. They haven't actually embraced that label, but that fight has become really polarizing and really you have to take a stand.
But the lines are clear.
The lines are clear. I mean, that's a highway. That's no longer a line. Ronald Llamas always likes to talk about the Rubicon. You have crossed the Rubicon. I don't think it's a Rubicon anymore. I think this is a chasm, really wide and deep chasm that is very clear, necessitating politicians to take a stand, almost forcing them to.
And that they did. All right. So, but how are you seeing or projecting the result of the midterm elections?
Okay, there you go. Let me wear my prophet hat. Prophet Alan speaks. There's really two ways of looking at it in the modern times. Okay. In the old days, well, we actually track it by means of data analysis. And there are candlestick charts, very boring stuff that will show past election results and cycles and trends. And as well as, little hairs on the back of our head, intuition, experience that we throw into the mix. During midterm elections, the admin usually really dominates. It's about 8 to 10, if we're talking about senatorial. it's usually 8 to 10 of their candidates
For
that
the
will make it.
administration.
Yes. If you're looking at the formula man, message, machinery, and money, the machinery and the money of the administration during a midterm election, especially ones backed by Congress on the local level. And remember, Pinky, this midterm elections, a lot of these congressmen are running unopposed. So they can actually fully concentrate on their admin slate national candidates.
Right. At talagang i-endorse nila yung mga senators for the administration.
Buhos. Taglish pala tayo dito.
Oo,
tama.
pwede. Masyadong ang...
bubuhos sila. Masyado na ako naging
Pwede kang medyo
academician.
mag-4 cantos dito ng konti.
Shout out.
Alright. Medyo na-miss, ha?
Talking about the old life. The old days.
So I want to show the 12 senatorial candidates for the administration. I wonder if we have that ready because I want you to take a look at them. It'll come out, trust me, one way or another.
On point ito, hindi hot seat. My goodness, you're actually going to make me pick.
Hindi, pero, okay, doon na lang sa 12.
Okay.
12 naman sila eh. Sige,
Right.
you have Senator, isa-isahin natin nila sila.
Tulfo,
Senator
at the top.
Ping, Senator, sige, Tulfo.
Tulfo is at the top, right? And then there's, well, I don't remember the exact order, but I think Senator Ping is there, Senator Soto is there, he should be, yes.
He is, yes. Revilla.
Bong Revilla, excuse me. His last name is Bong Revilla.
It is.
Yes. I don't know if you got the memo.
No.
His name is not Revilla.
Alan,
He is
I actually
Bong Revilla.
asked about that because to be honest, I saw that on X. Bakit? Dun sa mga nagtatanong, ano pinag-uusapan nilang dalawa? Kasi lumalabas po sa balota, ang pangalan po ni Bong Revilla ay, last name is Bong Revilla.
Yes.
First name is
Ramon. Yes, Bong Revilla.
So I think I had asked someone about it. I won't say who. But from what I had discovered, it had always been that way.
Oh, truly?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pagkaalam ko, hindi ho bago yan.
Yes.
Matagal na pong yung last name na ginagamit ay Bong Revilla.
Kasi unlike you, Pinky, I'm a new voter. So, alam mo yung age difference kasi natin.
Bago ka.
Matagal ka nang bumoboto.
Ako yung in olden times. Okay.
Correct.
So, sige. Doon sa 12. Ganito na lang. Doon sa 12, sino ang delikado?
Well, definitely sa rankings yung dulo delikado, and then if you look at the cutoff, exacto at the cutoff, right at the cutoff are the two yellow/pink candidates, si Senator Bam, former Senator Bam. Thank you, yan. Pag-usapan natin.
Ayan.
So
sige,
dito,
let's bring it up on screen. The Octa Research
It will come
Survey.
up, I promise. It will come up.
Lalabas po yan.
Yes. This is giving me flashbacks of 4 cantos.
Ayan, 25 to 31.
Ayan.
Si Professor Guido wala dito. Okay. Dr. Guido pala.
Are the viewers seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, so definitely ang delikado dyan yung last 4. Yan ang delikado dyan. In a campaign, and here I go, sharing my pearls of wisdom. In a campaign
For
kasi,
free.
yeah, for free. The rule is always, you call it basement stomping and ceiling pulling. So yung dalawa sa ilalim mo, you're gonna stomp on them. Didikdikin mo yung dalawang nasa ilalim mo, and you're gonna try to pull down the two on top of you. That's par for the course in an election campaign. So definitely, these guys at the last 4, the people following them will definitely be trying to pull them down. Ceiling pulling yan.
Okay.
So we're looking at Tol Tolentino, who has a great ad, by the way. I actually like this ad.
I haven't seen his
Abby
ad.
Binay, he's got a good ad.
Really?
For me, it's very slick yung ad niya.
Okay.
Si Camille Villar, ang bagong muka. Perhaps her team forgot that she is the daughter of Tita Cynthia and Senator Manny and the brother of Senator Mark. Yeah, pero bagong mukha daw, bagong mukha. Out with the old. Bagong mukha daw siya. At saka si Senator Bato de la Rosa, whose jingle, by the way, is an earworm. My goodness, if you've heard this Senator Bato jingle, I promise you...
Can you sing it?
Well, basta may yes sir siya.
Okay.
Ang galing.
Yeah, so
Tapos itaga mo sa bato, tapos may yes sir, may saludo. It's a sensorial treat. You know, you're looking at him dancing, you're singing along to the music. Yeah, pretty, very, very good jingle. You haven't seen it.
No,
Clearly,
I have not.
Clearly,
I have not.
You're missing something.
Sayang
My
naman
goodness.
pala. Ang nakita
You will
ko
be entertained.
sa X, yung kay Ipe. Yun, nakita ko yun.
Epektibo, right? Epektibo? You mean Philip
Salvador,
Yes,
when he was dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, yun yung nakita ko.
Kaya lang pag kumuha siguro tayo ng 20 peso coin, tapos ihagis natin sa palengke, tapos may tinamaan na tao doon, tanong mo, anong ibig sabihin ng epektibo? Iisipin nila gamot. So siguro yung tagline niya, sana I can feel it na lang, di ba? I can feel it. You can feel the progress.
Panahon mo kasi yung, I can feel it. Okay.
Kaklase mo yata yun. Hey, I can do the shoulder roll.
Napaka-private ng mga jokes. All right. Let's go back to that Okta survey. It's let's take a look at them side by side. Si
Sige.
Okta at si Pulse Asia. Pulse Asia came out January 18 to 25.
Yes.
And then the Okta research was the more recent
one, yes.
25 to 31. In fact, I think it was it Ronald who actually told me that for the most part, yung Tulfos are 1 and 2. Pero dito sa ilang mga survey, Pulse ata, which is this one actually,
Yes.
napupunta siya sa 4 or 5.
But again,
SWS or Pulse.
the statistical variance of that will really, here we go. You have to take the survey results collegially, and you have to look at them side by side talaga. So what we're doing is correct. And
Yun.
And if it is Ronald Llamas who told you this, that always has to be taken with a grain of salt. You never know what comes out of that guy's mouth. Good evening, Senator. Justice na pala siya ngayon. Justice Edu, magandang gabi po.
Justice na ba siya?
Justice
Akala ko
justice
senador
na.
siya.
Have you seen his interviews? He's weighing in. Legal luminary na siya ngayon.
Okay, kaya justice na siya.
Nagko-quote ng mga
Alright.
Supreme Court ruling.
So, balikan natin yan. So, not much of a difference, no? Because you still have the Tulfos, you have the
Right.
Bongo, and then you have Bong Revilla, Willie Revillame.
Right. Wow. Shows
Medyo
what I know.
nandun din siya. Hindi,
Malakas.
4 to 11
Malakas
versus...
si Kuya Will. Malakas si Kuya Will.
7
Parati
to
siyang
13.
pasok.
Alam mo yung a little different here, I think, is Senator... hindi din, Bato. Because
Pasok
7 to 14 and
Yes.
12 to 16. Mas mataas siya dun sa Pulse Asia.
It's almost a mirror, except for statistical rankings, which, if you notice, will always be taken as a band. Kaya kung may bandwidth yan para sa ating mga manonood, dahil may tinatawag po tayong margin of error. So,
What is the margin of error? Plus, minus 2?
about 2 or 3.
Okay.
2 or 3. So, pag tinignan ninyo, a lot of people are saying, grabe naman yan. 4 to 11, that's so imprecise. Para mong sinabing, anong oras tayo magkikita, Pinky? Anytime between 4 to 11. Di ba, magagalit ka sa akin nun. But that's really how surveys go. And if you really look at the rankings, it's very well, well curated.
Okay, here's a question. How, these rankings that you see right now, how
Right.
do you think that will mirror the result of the elections?
You know what? It's early in the game, di ba? It's early in the game. Inflection points will happen. What we call inflection points are those moments wherein a candidate, because of happenstance, novelty, sometimes even a scandal, that can be an inflection point to bring you down. Many inflection points, down or up. Many inflection points can happen from now until then. So what we do is we will. The best practice really is to look at clearly the most recent survey before the elections, like what a popular religious group does, di ba? They look at the last survey bago sila mag-endorse. Anyway, I've said too much.
So, nga. Para nga. Kasi dapat wag ka nang magbigay ng
Ng
mga
komentaryo.
pahaging. Hindi, dapat diretsuhin mo
Palit
na.
tayo ng
diba?
sila, Pinky.
Palit tayo. Game.
Sa kanina, dyan na ako nakaupo eh. Muntik ako naging host.
Sabihin na natin sa mga boss, may plano ho siyang palitan ako.
Correct.
Okay. Then, anyway, so...
Pointless ang pangalan ng programa ko. On point, naging pointless.
Doon sa, ganito na lang, were there any surprises? Dito sa Okta and Pulse for you?
Hey, Pinky, do you know what an orc is? ORC? An orc. Those orcs are yung mga monsters in mythology, di ba?
Okay.
Sa Pilipinas, may orcs din tayo sa politika. It's old familiars, their relatives, and the celebrities. Yan yung parating kasama sa top
Old
12.
familiar.
Yep. The relatives,
Oo.
and celebrities.
Celebrities.
So if you look at this top 12, old familiars, their relatives, and celebrities. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And again, not surprising is the fact that most of them are actually from the admin slate. So this again puts the context of the impeachment.
Alan, what about Senator Amy? Is she admin, or is she independent, or is she with the Dutertes?
You know what? If I was the guy to say this, I will be the richest and wisest man in the Philippines because no one knows. And unfortunately, this has caused her to really suffer in the rankings. Because as a politician, you cannot sit on the fence forever, especially when the mood and the temperature and the environment is so charged.
So this is not helping her any.
This is not helping her at all.
But if you look at her ranking in Okta,
Tumaas.
she's at 5 to 13.
Well, siguro, Pinky, pag gumastos tayo ng 1 billion in ad spend, palagay ko tataas din tayo. I'm not criticizing the practice, but that's really smart campaigning on her end. No? She spent her money, her campaign funds well. Her social media presence is very prevalent. Her billboards are all over the place, and her messaging is clear, di ba? Ay, Miss Solusyon. Ay, Miss Solusyon. So, kumagat yun clearly.
All right. We're going to take a very short break. We'll have more of our discussion with political strategist Alan Herman. Please stay tuned. This is On Point. Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb.
At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas. Simulan na natin ang agenda. Inisnab ng mga social media influencer ang unang pagdinig ng Kamara tungkol sa fake news.
Nagbabala ang World Bank na maaaring maging kulelat ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas kumpara sa ibang ASEAN nations. Mga sangkot sa vote buying mahaharap sa mas mabigat na parusa.
Sa bawat issue, may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas.
And I'm Erica Christensen.
Luka Doncic's shocking trade to the Lakers costs him $116 million. Trump signs executive order banning transgender athletes from women's sports. Buds Wenceslao talking about helping build the future of sports through Parka. The Scorecard. Sports is our business, and business is our sport, right here on the Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back. You're watching On Point. Still with us. I had to say On Point. Hindi pointless.
Hindi pointless.
Still with us, political strategist Alan Herman. Let's talk about, siguro ito na lang, before I leave the admin slate.
Okay.
Sino yung pinaka mahina dun for you for now?
Right now, ang mga delikado sa admin slate, I will have to say, just looking at this, it mirrors it naman. Medyo Ben-Hur Abalos is a bit, which is weird because he's the SILG. He's the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, or previously. So it's really odd. You would think that he would take advantage fully and capitalize on this machinery. I think he suffered greatly from his mixed messaging. Did you see that was really an odd spate of messaging that he went through. First, he went through kalabang kriminal. Actually, kalaban ng kriminal yun.
Ng kriminal.
Pero maliit yung nang. So, kalabang kriminal. Tapos dinikit nila, naging kalabang kriminal. Niliitan nila, naging kalaban kriminal. Then they went back to gawa hindi salita. Then samahan sa Senado. And now they're using another messaging.
And you can't keep doing that.
You can't keep doing
changing.
that. You cannot keep changing that.
Is there time for him to have a clearer messaging, you think?
If he sticks to one, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think, and the guy's charming. Again, it's man, message, machinery, money. If you meet him, he's charming. He's got a good head on his shoulders. If you have a conversation with him, the man
Pero
knows what he's
kilala
talking
ba
about.
ang Abalos nationwide?
Yun
ang
ang
tanong.
problema.
Oo.
That's why I zeroed in on him. I'm not picking on Secretary Abalos. No, I'm not. But yun yung problema. Nationwide, medyo hindi pa siya nakakagapang nationwide, which is odd again because nag-SILG siya. So if you look at the Binays, may naging Vice President Binay na, may nag-Senator na Nancy Binay. So yan, medyo nakakalat na yan sa Pilipinas. Same with the Villars, naging Speaker of the House at
Right.
Senate President na
So,
si
bakit si
Manny.
Abby Binay mas mataas, it appears, no, than a Camille Villar?
At hindi pa nag-ad spend si Abby Binay. Think about that. No? Hindi pa siya
Puro
masyado
lang, posters,
pa lang.
interviews.
Correct, correct. I think the advantage of Mayor, Mayor pa rin siya actually,
Mayor pa
technically.
siya,
Kasi
yeah.
I think the advantage of Mayor is, ang galing nung ginawa nila Same formula, same playbook as Vice, Jojo. Nag-sister cities sila. Dami nilang sister cities all over the Philippines. So lahat, I will adopt your sister city, sister city, sister city.
Pakikwento po yung sister cities sa mga nanonood sa atin.
Well,
Kasi
essentially,
that's an old-
Makati, being the bastion of progress and perceived to be, the modernization and economic capital of the Philippines, all of these cities, rural cities, want to be sister cities. Source of great pride sa kanila yon. Ang Makati, in-adapt sila as sister cities. So, nakakaikot effectively ang mga B-Nice. They can just make calls, yung mga sister machinery nila, kikilos.
Na nandun na eh. No?
Na nandun na. In-establish pa yun nung time ni VP Jojo.
And what is, her slogan is, Abby, better.
Abby better.
Right?
Yes.
Is it,
Abby better.
how do you
Sayang nga, be nice to
understand
everyone na lang sana eh, di ba? Be nice to everyone. Di ba? Pero Abby better.
Be nice yan, no?
Be
Si
nice.
Senator Nancy.
Yes,
Be
be nice, be
siya.
nice. I think ang ginamit niyang playbook dito, Pinky, is the same as Senator JV, what Senator
The
JV
good
did.
one.
The good one. Kasi I think it's, I think it's public knowledge naman that the be nice are not necessarily getting along, and I don't think they're having kumbaya lunches and playing the guitar around the campfire with marshmallows. I don't think they're friendly, di ba? Sa isa't isa.
That's out naman.
So Abby better. Parang it's a backhanded messaging na parang yung kapatid ko pinasok din yun sa Senado, nanalo yan. But I'd be better than her. Yeah.
Yun ang ano.
Yun yung backhanded ano.
Okay.
I must have overthought this. Did I overthink this?
No, you did not.
Okay, there you go.
To be honest, that's what I thought too.
There you go.
I
Great minds.
I just had to hear it from
There
somebody
you go.
else.
You just needed abject deniability, sabi ni Alan eh.
Siya po ang nagsabi nun, hindi po ako. Ginaya ko lang po siya.
Okay, so hindi na ako lilibot sa Makati mula ngayon.
PDP Laban, a proclamation, will happen, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it's this week. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow. We had Attorney Raul Lambino as guest
Yes.
yesterday, and he said he's part of the slate
He sure is.
of PDP Laban.
Davao ba? Are they gonna do it in Davao?
My understanding is it's in Club Filipino.
Well, odd choice. I would have really done it either in Mindanao or in Baka Logistics. I mean, of course,
Maybe.
I'm not involved in that campaign in any way, shape, or form. But I would have done Davao, or I would have done anywhere in Mindanao where you can do muscle flexing, what we call muscle flexing.
Sino ang pinakamalakas para sa'yo sa kanila? Of course, Senator Bongo.
Yung mga nakaupo, syempre. Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, yan yung mga stalwarts nila.
Do you think the likes of Attorney Bondo, Attorney Raul Lambino, what are their chances? I mean, just on that, hindi po natin sila nakikita dyan, hindi sila pasok dyan.
Well, I mean, I really don't want to bore the viewers with the math of it all. But really, a survey is a great tool in terms of diagnostics. Kasi ang titignan mo dyan yung awareness rating.
So, okay.
So, pag may number ka na percentage, you can already apply it to the number of voters. So, off the top of my head, this is very dirty math. I don't think I'm off by much. But for Attorney Bondoc, for example, or for Lambino to make it, they will need to reach something like, very dirty math, 80 to 90,000 new eyeballs a day.
Wow.
A day. New eyeballs.
New,
Hindi
yeah.
pwede yung
And-
nag-billboard ka sa EDSA.
And how
It's the
possible
same
is that?
Exactly. So, ang remedy dyan is really ad spend, or just really mobilize your social media warriors, etc. But again, that's about 80 to 90,000 new eyeballs a day if you do the dirty math.
Wow, okay. Interesting. What do you say to people when they seem to not believe in surveys dahil bago pa lang ito, especially kung...
Shout out kay Prof. Ronnie Holmes, no? Di ba, yung tinatawag na ng false Asia. Surveys time and again, especially for a guy like me, who is, our start and end is always the survey. It has to begin with numbers.
There's a scientific
Before you
reason.
create the narrative, you have to base it on numbers. Turn data into information, information into insight, insight into a narrative. My secret sauce, I've given it away again.
For free, again.
So that's really what you do, no? And the survey is
Okay.
really the tool. Maniwala tayo sa surveys dahil statistically speaking, pag tinignan mo yung kanyang coefficient of error, napakaliit.
So what do you say to, let's say, may kliyente ka, for example, sabihin, wala po siya, hindi siya parte, hindi siya pasok, sabihin na lang natin sa 15, hindi nga 12 or 15 pa. Tapos kapag makausap ng media, sabihin, masyado pang maaga, hindi naman na ako, sometimes they say they don't really believe in surveys. I mean, what do you say to people who are part of, pasok sa survey and they believe in surveys at hindi pasok po sa survey at hindi naman naniniwala sa survey?
Well, my advice is always maniwala sa survey at maniwala sa mga tao na marunong bumasa ng survey na kayang sabihin. Kasi surveys naman are a snapshot in time eh. Diba? Where are you? How fast is your trajectory? Where are you at this point in time?
Yeah.
So, the
Pero
reading there...
credible, kasi meron din naman talagang
merong mga kangkong surveys. Talagang kabute, di ba? Bigla na lang, D. Stafford.
ano po yun? Ano po yung mga survey na yun?
I'm sure, panahon mo yan, di ba? Yung D. Stafford. Nalala mo ba yung D. Stafford?
Panahon ko, okay.
Buhay pa ba D. Stafford? Baka magpadala dito ng riding in tandem eh. Yan, yung mga ganyan. Talagang yan, kangkong yan. That's just for propaganda use. But you know, the credible ones who have proven methodology and research backing.
So, who? For those who might be saying, Mr. Herman, anong mga survey ang dapat naming paniwalaan?
Talagang napakasarap mag-guest dito sa On Point. Talagang pahihirapan ang host eh. Talagang ilalagay ka sa hot seat eh. Ako, naniniwala ako sa top survey firms tulad ng Pulse, SWS, Okta, they made a lot of ground in catching up with the basta face-to-face, may methodology, gumagamit siya ng Slovene formula, hindi yung online, like for Pinky, heart for Alan. Yan, yung mga walang kwenta yan. Tapon mo na yan. Pambalot lang ng tinapayan the next day. But we have the luxury, going back to your earlier question, we have the luxury, thank goodness, of being able naman to choose our clients. Pag alam naman namin na
sige, sabihin
wala
mo.
nang pag-asa.
Sabihin mo yung salita.
Medyo mahirap, na medyo talunan.
Hindi sinabi mo na rin.
Talunan. Pwede naman namin sabihin, hindi po naman ako tulisan. Sinasabi ko naman dun sa tao, sir, talagang I'd love to take your money. Pero,
wag mo na pagperahan, di ba? Pero
yan po ang may integrity.
Pero paano pag pinilit ka?
Pag, halimbawa, binuksan ko yung auto ko, nandun na yung pera eh. My goodness, ano ba bang gagawin ko dyan? Ihahagis ko ba yan sa kalsada? Di ba?
Okay. On a very serious note, are issues of importance to voters for the midterm elections?
Okay, I will contextualize that.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, issues are of vital importance, but it only will fall around the so-called helps issues. Meron po tayong tinatawag na order of attribute preference.
Wow, okay.
So, order of attribute preference is as in any good, you will always have attributes that will make you buy or support that. For politicians, it's only helps. Health, education, livelihood, peace and order, social services. Yun lang, helps. If you're talking about karangalan, sovereignty, atin ng West Philippine Sea, hindi ko po sinasabing, again, I don't want to be misquoted or taken out of context. I'm not saying these issues are not important. They are very, very important that need to be dialogued about and taken seriously. But for voters, if you're not talking about health, education, livelihood, peace and order, or security, yung mga issues na yun lang ang importante.
Pero meron ho ba yung priority? Rank 1, 2, 3?
Geographically, yes. Geographically, yes. So, pag vote-rich regions, dyan namin binabase yung strategy namin. Sometimes we tweak it tactically. Like for some regions, if the candidate is malleable enough, pwedeng in this region, ang messaging niya health. Dito in this region, mas may priority siya sa peace and order.
Right.
Pero naglalaro lang yan. Ideally, if you can get a catch-all phrase that will, itaga mo sa bato, for example, see, here I am going on bato.
mo ba?
Modular. Hindi. Pero modular, di ba? Modular. Yung tinatawag nating interrogative affirmative. So, edukasyon? Question mark. Itaga mo sa bato. Mas ligtas na komunidad? Question mark. Itaga mo sa bato.
Parang nag-place ka na ng ad sa amin yan.
Nagbigay na ako ng
Okay, here's one
Senator,
last point.
Magandang gabi. Libre. Libre
One
naman,
more
Senator.
point I'd like to raise. Do you think that it's important for candidates or it's wise for candidates running, especially sa national post, to talk about the impeachment of the Vice President?
If they can avoid it like the plague, they should. But eventually, sisingilin sila. And we're seeing this now. That's what's happening at the Senate. The Senate right now is saying, my goodness, we want no part of this. We are Switzerland. We will remain neutral for as long as we can. Because once they take a stand, they will alienate a voting bloc. Pag ikaw bumoto, I don't know if you know what's happening on the ground right now in Mindanao. Balita lang sa akin. This is anecdotal, of course. But in Mindanao right now, ang sinasabi nila, if you signed the impeachment, as a member of Congress or a party list, pag lumapag ka sa Mindanao and they know you signed, pauwiin ka.
Which actually is something I had raised earlier when there was, I believe, a PCIJ report that actually said that there were, among the Mindanao congressmen, supposedly who signed the impeachment complaint, I think 60% of them actually signed it, and
correct.
or yeah, something like that, more or less 60. And then there were 40, or maybe a little less, who did not sign. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers were 70 and 30. In other words, the point I was trying to make is that madaming supposed to be na taga Mindanao na congressmen na nag-sign ng impeachment complaint.
Kasi marami sa kanila, walang kalaban.
Unopposed.
So, unopposed. So, medyo meron silang leverage and buffer na wala naman silang kalaban.
Pero pag may kalaban, delikado.
Medyo delikado ka dyan. I mean, you just look at the numbers. Again, we have to base it all on numbers.
Okay.
VP Sara got more votes than President Bongbong Marcos did in the last elections. So, of course, those ratings have dropped. She has, I mean, according to the surveys, her trust has fallen, but it's still higher than the president, I think, by 1%, ng huling measurement.
Okay.
So, formidable voting bloc.
Well, as mentioned a while ago, kakaumpisa lang po talaga ng official ang tawag, campaign period. And then for the local elections, that's going to be sometime March 27 or 28. Or
27,
March
yes.
27 ba or March 11 ba?
You know what?
Basta,
official?
sa March po.
Sa Marso.
Sa March po yung sa local. So, I wish to guest you again, Alan.
My goodness, what an honor and a privilege. I would be happy.
Let's talk about, let's see each other again and himayin natin
For
yung
sure,
mga
for sure.
susunod
Yeah,
na
yeah.
survey. Maraming salamat, Alan. Good to see you again.
Magandang gabi, Pinky. Magandang gabi sa lahat ng manunood.
Thank you. That's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.